Project Witness Testimony.
Hey, Crypto.
Hello, Gary. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, late. I've been listening in, though. Excellent start and describing your horrible ordeal of being held for over a decade simply for they didn't secure their networks.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is it really hacking? What is they didn't really have the laws up on that back then. That was early. That was 2002. You said March, so that was like a lot of the cybersecurity acts and bills were written after that.
Yeah, it was basically cracking password cracking.
Some would argue due to McKinnon's actions, indeed.
No, we're not brothers, dude. But we just he's actually on the other side of the North American continent for me. He's over in BC. I'm on the East Coast. So, nope, that's not my brother. My brother is someone else.
Brothers of the heart.
Exactly, all three of us, indeed. I'm up in Canada, actually. I'm going to blame reindeer and caribou traffic for my tardiness today.
So. Yes, yeah, that's fine. I want to know back to this issue of the NASA Building 8. Was it?
Yeah, Donna. Yeah, I'd read in the Disclosure Project book that Donna said when she was, I think she had secret clearance, and one of her colleagues was literally across the corridor from her, and he said, "Oh, come and look at something interesting. You want to see something cool?" And he showed her what she at first thought was just a blob in the emulsion, like a white disc shape. And he said, "Yeah, but look, Donna, blobs don't have shadows." And he basically said, "So yeah, I spend my time airbrushing out UFO images from high-res satellite imagery before it's passed on to the public domain." And she said the very building, not just JSC, but the actual building, Johnson Space Center, in Building 8.
And so that then became a target for you, right?
Yeah, I was already in JSC, but armed with the knowledge that Building 8 was where some of the stuff was going on. Around the same script on Building 8. There were only about a dozen machines that had blank passwords. And I jumped on one at random. And there was exactly what she said. It was a very clean, because a lot of these desktops, like when I did IT support, desktops are normally very messy with shortcuts and documents. These were very clean desktops, just folders for filtered and unfiltered, or processed and unprocessed. And double-click the folder, and they were images, but in a proprietary NASA format. And they were all huge, 200, 300 megabytes plus. And I was on a very slow connection, 56K dial-up at the time. And did plan to download some, but the first thing I wanted to do was see one. And of course, I didn't have proprietary NASA software, so I just double-clicked an image, and it started.
Yeah, kids have no idea what a 56K modem was and what it was like to connect to America Online when you got a disc in the mail and it said the internet.
Yeah, AOL.
Use your phone, that's for sure, on the 56K.
There was the signal that the computer made when it would talk. If you lifted up the other phone, when your computer modem was on the phone talking, that's what you heard. And that's what it would do. Like when you first, some people know, those of us who are around for that. But these kids, this new generation will have no idea and never know, man. It all changed with the Roadrunner and the cable modems, the ability to do it through the cable on coax. So
yeah, it was 5 minutes just to download 1 megabyte back then.
Yeah, it was not faster than Negi. I'm sorry to say. Definitely
not then.
Not.
No.
It took like a day. Yeah, like you're saying, like it took you what, 15, 20 hours or something just to get one picture or the first picture?
Yeah. What you had to pay for your bit rate and how much bits you actually were able to download with the old internet is compared to what you pay now is just, you're getting gigabit for way cheaper than we got. Like, you have no idea. Anyways, I'm not going to argue with these people.
You don't look old enough to remember 56K, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was when I was a kid, man. I played Doom. I played Duke Nukem. I played the first.
Command and Conquer here.
No,
Yeah,
Commander
dude.
Keen. Commander Keen.
Yeah.
I'm talking like old school ID games. Yeah, I played all those old
Yeah,
ass
me too.
games. So, um,
Well,
yeah,
two
Dune was another one. Civilization, yeah, Command and Conquer. What was the other one?
Age of Empires, yeah.
Age of Empires, yeah. And
Which is
Warcraft. Warcraft. Don't forget Warcraft.
Warcraft, yeah.
Dude, yeah, Quake 3. Hexen. Remember Hexen?
Yes!
Hexen.
Hexen! That was one of the first.
Yeah, there was another one too with like a spaceships that you had to go through the tunnels and stuff. What was that one called?
Asteroid Blaster. That was Atari, wasn't it?
What was that, Gary?
Unreal, but that was the 90s.
Unreal, maybe. It was like the first 3D one where it was like these, the spaceships. I remember flying around. It was kind of whack. Not looking back, but it was cool when I was playing it back in the 90s and stuff.
StarCraft.
Yeah, heck yeah. People know, dude. Old school, dude. Qbert, and I played like his Revenge and all the old school Atari games, way back in the day. I never played that one. I was too young for that one, but
yeah, that was my first one, the Atari 2600 video.
Yeah, the Atari was my first system, then NES. So these kids don't know. You have to go back. You can buy these
Castle
things
Wolfenstein. That was even before Doom and Duke Nukem, wasn't it?
There was a two-dimensional Duke Nukem that was a Commander Keen style that came out before that, and then that was their first 3D first-person shooter. But yeah,
and it was only 3D in the horizontal, so vertical.
Then they made Duke 3D, Duke Nukem 3D, where you could pay the strippers to show them their boob. But yeah, man, we've come a long way.
Yeah, I get to see real boobs now.
Hey, man. Yeah, I said that.
I'm a nerd.
That was one of the first ones I said, dude. I used to play that for hours, and I had the level editor where you could build your own levels and stuff and make,
Oh wow.
That was fun. You could put teleporters in and make it. We built a whole crazy level. Anyways, yeah, dude, keep going, Gary. I don't mean to interrupt you with some nostalgic.
All right, last video game, Sim City. I played Sim City a lot. Now back to what Gary found.
Oh no, I played Sim Earth and the where you had to terraform planets and stuff. I don't know if anyone else played that one.
Oh, it's heavy. I had a nuclear reactor simulator on the Atari. That was fun.
Man, bet you can't get that anymore.
I bet you could. It's a bit realistic.
I never played that game. I must have missed that one. But let's talk about this. So 2002, you hack into NASA Building 8, and you looking for evidence of what Donna O'Hare said was there, and you said you saw it, right? And
yeah, I found exactly what she said, exactly where she said it would be.
Could you get screenshots or pictures of the screen? Anything?
Yeah, I get maligned for this all the time because all I had to do was press print screen and I would have had it. But it was my eureka moment. I was sitting there with Beatty. I had to turn all the color down and everything to make it come down quicker. And I thought once I've seen one and confirmed it is what she said was there, then I planned to download them, which would have taken hours and hours and hours just to get.
Right. Well, you said they were in NASA proprietary image format as well, which is any idea what kind of format that was? I mean,
I wish I could remember the file extension. No.
Yeah.
But I guess I would have tried to find the application on the NASA system as well and download that to be able to view it on my own machine. But alas, that was when. So I was doing it through 2001 and I got caught in 2002. And yeah, I mean, it was my eureka moment, but it was the same day I got caught as well. Because I had remote control, I suddenly saw the mouse move of its own accord. Obviously, some of the other ends moving it. And they right-clicked, and the LAN icon chose disconnect, and boom, that was me out. So didn't even get to see the whole picture, but enough of it to know what she said was true.
Wow. And you
Like
said in this
that
picture,
verification moment, though, in your mind, you're just like,
Oh, it's
okay,
huge.
what
Yeah.
is here? There, it's real. Like, but let's get into it now, right?
Yeah. And also, they know, that there's a part of NASA that does know because they're actively suppressing it by airbrushing it out. So, what's that about? It's supposed to be a civilian agency, isn't it? But it's clearly mostly military.
You've literally documented, or you went in and verified in your own experience that NASA's buffing room or buffing building exists. They censor the images, and you found it, you got in it, and that right there, never a straight answer, verified.
Yep. National Association of Space Actors. Yeah.
So what really gets me is then you also found, was it in the Pentagon that had the server to this off-world fleet?
I think that was a Navy network. I found that
Navy.
on. Yeah. And that's, oh, by the way, Solar Warden, let me make this clear now. There's no such program, the Solar Warden. I never found it.
Solar Warden, that's it.
Solar Warden was a rumor started on the above top secret forum. So
right.
That's where it started. Some anonymous person said, "Oh, there's an off-world space fleet program called Solar Warden." So that's how that started. So,
but that's not connected to what you found, and you didn't start that and have no affiliation with that at all.
I don't believe anything without evidence. So Solar Warden.
All right, that's cool. I was wondering about that. I'm glad we covered it, as I wanted to bring it up. But they didn't bring you back. Yeah, they tried to bury him, and they buried this in the media. It only got out through the tabloids and a couple of UFO channels, which is how I found out about it.
Yeah, it was very quiet. There was hardly any press in America. I think because they were embarrassed about the lack of security, they didn't want so much publicity.
No, they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to let people know how easy it was, or that they could do the same thing on other networks of businesses and companies and other infrastructure, because sure, it's not the first or the last time anyone's left a back door like that open.
The DoD gets like 250,000 hits a year, and that was back then. So God knows how many now.
So they did. They held the case open for 10.5 years, but they didn't end up extraditing him in that because they were just afraid that it would cause too much. I think the only reason they would drop the case, because they don't drop stuff for nothing. I mean, the only reason
they didn't drop it. Our Home Secretary at the time told them, "No, you're not having it."
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So you can't hop on a flight and come here and check out our lab, right?
I'd love to, but I'd never come.
They'd arrest you on the spot, right?
Yeah, there's even an Interpol warrant out, so I can't even go to Europe.
It's like Paul McCartney; he can't go to Japan anymore because of that song.
You can't even go into Europe. They still have a warrant out. You said.
Yeah, Interpol. I couldn't even attend my dad's funeral in Scotland because Scotland has a separate judicial system to England, and I did ask the government for surety that if I did attend the funeral, could they guarantee that I wouldn't be picked up? And they said, no, we can't. So it's,
wow.
They still want my ass. They're still heavy on it. What was that about Paul McCartney in Japan?
So thank you for clearing up that you have no affiliation with the Solar Warden program. That's just that's basically like, it was a disinfo spoof on what you actually found, and it was because they do that a lot. They'll take real stuff that leaks out, and they'll make a fake leak that sounds like the same exact thing, and then fill it with dino beavers and poltergeists and werewolves and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, security via obfuscation, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's some security by obscurity, and obfuscation. What should I look up? What was the other thing? I wanted to bring up the DoD and U.S. Navy is what you found, right? So
Yeah.
you said inside the U.S. Navy, inside DoD, and Pentagon is where you found the link to some off-world fleet stuff, right? No.
Yeah, this was an Excel file. And because once I was on the network, I mean, sometimes with so many machines, it's too big a job for one guy. And so I used a program called Land Search, which searched every PC on the network. And I generally, after getting admin access to one machine, I could then get the password file for the domain and use a program called LoftCrack to crack the NT passwords for the whole domain, and end up being domain controller there, because it was really crap encryption, and it still is as far as I know. It's the same NT kernel, even though it's a different Windows now. It's the same NT kernel at the core. And yeah, this spreadsheet it was non-terrestrial officers. Now you can interpret that how you like. It could mean, you know, on the moon. It could mean low Earth orbit. It could mean, you know, little green guys. God knows, but.
This could be like the precursor to like Space Force, like it always existed before they actually created it. They just it wasn't official, you know.
Yeah, and that term non-terrestrial officers, I looked it up at the time, and there was nothing. But now, if you look it up, it's generally linked to me as the only place you can find that term.
Man, so U.S. Navy. I got a question from the audience right now. Actually, hold on. David has a $2 super chat question, so we're going to ask it. Gary,
about Elon's car in space.
Yeah, what do you think about Elon's car in space?
If I had it on the ground, I'd just rape it for its batteries and throw the rest away, I think. Well, I think space is real, and I think we live in a sphere. I don't know about Elon's car in space. I mean, it looked like CGI, didn't it? Who knows?
Right, and it seems like so much of it is CGI, and that is it because they're blocking out all this other activity that's going on up there that they don't want us to see.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of confusion these days, isn't there? Because, and as Jeremy said, they like to sow disinformation and confusion. I mean, like a flat Earth. I've done the flat Earth argument with a lot of people. And
you said the word, man. You can't. No, the whole stream's contaminated.
Oh no.
No, well,
flag it now. You can't.
But it's a very good point, because from like a physics perspective in mathematics, you can't prove one or the other right or wrong necessarily. And with the counterintelligence operations, that it's the perfect way to be like, oh, don't think we have off-world capabilities if there's no such thing as space, and that they just pump it huge, right?
Yeah, but then there's
I wonder if
observation, but you're right, isn't there? The moon appears to be round, the other planets appear to be round. So I think
one of the questions I had, Gary, is I remember one of the interviews you mentioned that at one time you could see how many other outside people had access to those networks while with you, right?
Yeah, loads. And not surprising, since there were blank passwords. There are literally loads from all around the world. You do a command in Windows in the console called netstat, and you see all the.
What is it? What's the command?
Netstat. Network status.
Netstat. Okay.
Ooh, great question by Anthony. For non-terrestrial officers, did it say how long for each tour of duty?
No, I had a list of names and ranks, and possibly locations as well. I can't remember.
Locations.
Yeah, like bases.
Yeah, there's lots of ways that you could prove the Earth is round, but it's unfalsifiability of the theory. You know, like as Einstein said, you know, all it takes is one person to prove the theory wrong. He can never prove his theory right. Right? That's what he was saying. So I just want to clarify that. People are like, "Oh my God, what am I watching?" You're watching AlienScientist, dude. And this is the best channel on UFOs that you're gonna find. I don't know.